I think the biggest fundamental challenge we see, especially for Australian business, is the people that they have inside the organisations. Most organisations will have a security policy that they try to implement, but what they don't do is maintain that security policy through ongoing security training of their staff. So when we talk about security assets for organisations, there's a few, and it really depends on the organisation themselves, but it predominantly comes down to the data that the organisation holds. What we're seeing currently is a trend for not just the malicious attacking of organisations, but also the retrieval or stealing of that information. So fundamentally, most organisations now have to understand what information they have, because that's the primary asset. The biggest risk we look at when we're talking about organisations trying to secure their assets, again, it comes down to people. We see a lot of organisations who put a lot of effort into securing information when it's at rest, when it's in transport, but what we're seeing now is there's a real drive in the hackers looking to either encrypt that information or steal it wherever they possibly can. And we've seen this in a lot of organisations where they'll have the data stolen and it may well be encrypted. And it'll take a few years, but the hackers will actually decrypt that information. So preparation is a big part of what organisations should be looking at for securing these assets. And that's the difficult bit. First of all, they've got to do a data classification. They've got to understand the risks that their data has to them. And a lot of organisations don't really understand that well enough. So the preparation, the first part of it is at least looking at the data classification, what their data is valuable, how much of a value that data has to them. I do believe there has been a shift in Australian organisations to better security practices. Is it always enough? No, I don't think it is, simply because if you have a look at the way that the threat actors in the global sphere are attacking companies, that's always changing. So companies have to be evolving their security policies to meet those risks. And some of them are doing well enough to actually be ahead of the risks, but those are very few and far between. So I believe that Australian organisations are working better towards securing their assets, but it's still not perfect.